everybody. It's 3 o'clock, maybe a little bit after. It's time for dinner with Nanny, Bubby. You know, you might have seen the post that I did earlier today. I knew that the painter was coming I got something happening with the hair here. I'm not sure what that is. But hey, Sue, how are you? Nice to have you here. So I knew painters were coming today to work on my ceiling in my kitchen. So here's a quick story of what happened. As you know, hey, Lucy, how are you? So glad to see you guys. So I've been having my outdoor kitchen constructed, which has been going on for 11 months. It'll be 11 months come February. Actually 12 months. We're in the 11th month right now, come to think of it. Anyway, one day, right before I was getting ready to go live, hi Lene, so nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. I love that everybody's coming on so soon. I just love this. Anyway, so I'm getting ready to do the live show. Hey, Tom. And the electrician who is sending all the power from up in the attic, from the electrical board in the attic, through the top of my kitchen ceiling outside to my barbecue kitchen. And just as I'm getting ready to say, hey, it's 3 o'clock and it's time for dinner with Nanny, Bubby, his leg comes right through the ceiling of my kitchen. And honestly, I heard him fall and I'm thinking, oh God, please. Hey, Teresa, how are you? I'm thinking, oh God, please do not let him fall through this kitchen ceiling. Number one, I was scared for him, right? And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to run under him and catch him or what to do. Anyway, bottom line, he didn't fall. And that is the best news ever. But then I started thinking, I couldn't stop laughing because I started thinking how crazy it would be if here I am doing a live cooking show and suddenly someone falls through my ceiling. So anyway, hey, Laura McNeese. Anyway, hello everybody. So, you know, here's what's happening with me. For the first time in about 6 months, I am taking a girlfriend out for dinner for her birthday. Her birthday was in March. And just as we were setting up a time to go out and for me to take her out, because she always takes me out, and it's always just a lovely night with the two of us, the shutdown came. And then the shutdown came again. And then it peaked. And then it got worse. And, you know, blah, 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 blah. And just as we were finally scheduled to go for dinner, her husband was tested positive for COVID. So we canceled once again. So I'm really excited to be going out with her today. But in my refrigerator was a huge head of cauliflower. And I looked at that cauliflower and said to myself, if I don't do something with this cauliflower right now, it is going to go into the trash. And it was a beautiful head of cauliflower. So what I'm going to make for you today is something that I can actually warm up for tomorrow night, just like I did with the Brussels sprouts. I just got this whim. How many of you saw that? Raise your hand or wave or whatever you need to do. If you saw the Brussels sprouts that I posted, it was so gorgeous. It was Brussels sprouts on a stalk. And it was just so beautiful. And finally I said, I have to cook this. It was like 7 o'clock at night. I think we'd already eaten. And I just brought it in and started playing with it. It was so fun, so beautiful. Thank you. I'm glad you saw it. And listen, that was just sprayed olive oil, sprayed avocado oil, I think, because whenever I roast at high temperatures, I use avocado oil, salt and pepper. And the last 5 minutes, I basted it in butter, which just browned it and caramelized it so beautiful. And then I let it cool down and I wrapped it in tissue paper. Hey, Tawny. I say Tawny instead of Tawny because there's Tawny with a W and Tawny with just an A-N. So anyway, I just want you both to know I see you separately, if that's okay, Tawny. And Tawny is not here right now. So anyway, I know, oh my God, Laura, right? Can you imagine? Here I am doing a live show and boop, there's Angel. Well, hey, Angel, how you doing? So anyway, painter showed up today to patch that. It looks beautiful, thank God. Okay, so what I am making for you today, oh, just rewarming the Brussels sprouts. So I wrapped it in parchment paper and then foil, because as you know, we never let foil touch our food because foil is very, very toxic. So what you always do is put wax paper or parchment paper in between the food and the foil, which is what I did. Parchment, then foil, put it in the refrigerator after it had cooled down. Hello, Cynthia. And then the next night, what I did last night, actually, I turned the oven on to 250 degrees and stuck it right into the oven with parchment covered with foil, and just on a cookie sheet, baking sheet, and just let it warm up. And honestly, the Brussels sprouts just fell right off of the stalk. They were caramelized. They were just beautiful. So that's what I did with the Brussels sprouts. But I'm going to show you right now. Hey, Debbie Howe. Everybody's back. Everybody's been gone for a couple of weeks. Everybody's coming back. So glad. Anyway, so I'm going to show you what I did with this head of cauliflower. And I had to get it into the oven about 45 minutes before all of you arrived. And that is where it is right now. And I suppose, hey Mary, how are you? Mary Niederer is here, and Ruth Furman is here, and she's watching, and she loved the veggie ideas. So if you do a meatless Monday, this is a great idea for your meatless Monday, this cauliflower. If you're vegan, you just have to replace the butter with olive oil and the anchovies. Oh, did I say that? Yes, anchovies are in this recipe. And I don't know, give me some ideas. What do you think we could replace the anchovies with in this recipe? So we're gonna make sort of a sauce, a basting sauce with that. And I would just say, I don't know, there must be some vegetable that would have the texture of the anchovies and just a little extra salt, and I think we could probably get away with it. But maybe you could follow me, so here we go. I'm gonna actually take you to the oven with me. I'm gonna get these hot pads, hot gloves, right? And I think I can, because Instagram is not here today, because every time they go to connect me, they say pausing for a bad connection. And I don't think it's me, I think it's them, actually. So, because why would my phone work on a perfectly fine connection, right? My phone works. Why wouldn't, Facebook is working, why wouldn't Instagram? So, okay, so believe it or not, Nanny Bubby's oven is broken on the top. So my top oven does not work. Because we're getting ready to redo this kitchen. Here, let me come back. But here is, I just want to show you this. It's really important that I show you this. So you can see all that steam coming up out of the oven. And I have to tell you, that steam is not from the cauliflower. What I have at the very bottom of the oven is this pan of hot water. And it's roasting. What it's doing is the steam is helping the cauliflower soften. Otherwise, sometimes roasting, it has to roast way too long. So when we add this, which is a little extra steam to it, it roasts that much better. So anyway, do you guys all see that? Give me a high five or something. And then here we go. There's the cauliflower all in there, beautiful, right? Look at how it's roasted. Now I've sprayed this with cauliflower. I'm hoping you can see this. And look how golden brown that is all the way around. Isn't that beautiful? You can see it, right? Yep, there you go. Okay, so you're in the oven. I'm taking you out of the oven. I'm gonna put you back to where we can talk about what to do next. Oh, Tom is watching. Hey, Tom. There is my husband of 40 years. We've been together for 42 years. I mean, people always want to know, how do I do it? Okay. All right. Okay, let's stick to the script, Marla. Don't be a comedian. Okay. Oh, no. My phone. Sorry, something happened here. Okay. All right. Looks good, Nanny Bubby. Yes. He kept saying, what are you making today? I told him. And then he said, oh, Nanny Bubby stew. And I said, no, not Nanny Bubby stew. Nanny Bubby roasted cauliflower. He says, oh, good. Good, good. 3 minutes later, said, hey, what are you making today? Cauliflower, roasted cauliflower. Oh, you're making stew. I mean, you should have been here. We were laughing so hard we were crying. He just could not remember what it was I was making. I don't think he thought roasted cauliflower was that big of a deal. But it is. What does he say? It's like a life sentence with no chance of parole. Thanks, Tom. There's Joe. Joe, did you see what my husband right above you said? He says that all the time. How did we make it 40 years? Nobody told him it was a life sentence without possibility of parole. Ha, ha, ha. Can somebody give me a ha, ha, ha? There you go. Okay. All right. So here's the cauliflower. Now, I also want to tell you something else. Well, I have to let this cool for just a moment before I do anything else. But can we talk just a minute about the seed starting class yesterday? So that picture that I posted after we seed started, I'm telling you, that really happened. And I was so proud of the way that I lined the seeds up. And excuse me, this is my second year of actually planting, and I did so much better my second year of putting those seeds in, I could barely believe it, and I was so proud of how perfect and how aligned all those seeds had gone in. I did really well with the smaller seeds, which were the arugula. And then as I was walking right through there, which is where my seed starting table is with the light, and it just slid out of my hands and dumped right upside down on the floor. And so I could not believe it. I was devastated. But then again, you know, when it comes to being out in the garden, excuse me, when it comes to being here in the kitchen, no matter what experience you're having, it is a metaphor for life. You know, not everything is just so tidy and perfect the way Marla likes it. Everything in its row, everything at the perfect inch in, everything, you know, and when I get so perfect, comes along the universe and just smack and says, hey, life happens. Deal with it, lady. And so that's what I did. So I thought, well, I could throw it all out, fill it with soil, and just do them all over again. But then again, that wouldn't be honest with you guys, and I really wanted you to learn from my experience. So I swept it with my hand back into the pods and let all of the seeds land where they might. And so chances are we're gonna have zucchini growing with arugula, and you know, that's a great lesson. Hey, Roseanne, that's a great lesson because you'll be able to see that you can tell such a difference between the squash leaves and the lettuce leaves, the arugula leaf. And we'll be able to separate them when we transplant them into pots. So there's that. I just wanted to share it with you. I'm going to share one other item about that before we end. But let's get to this head of cauliflower. So let me show you how fantastically golden it is. Can you see that? Isn't that gorgeous? Let me move you in just a little bit. Whoop, a little bit more. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I know, so beautiful. It browned absolutely perfectly. So what we're gonna do now is we are gonna go over to the food processor here. Let me come over there with you. And let's see what Sue said. Who is doing your kitchen? Has everything been picked out? Well, I haven't actually started my kitchen yet, Sue, because it has taken me 11 months just to do my outdoor backyard kitchen, my outdoor kitchen. So, and everybody says, yes, the pan is gorgeous, Roseanne. I love this. It's a cast iron. It's so decorative. I love it. And so everybody said, so when are you starting your kitchen and when are you starting this? And my answer is, hey, I need a break from all these guys in my house, the painters, the electricians, the contractors, the pool tile people, even though my pool tile people were actually singing every day in the afternoon and serenading me, which I loved, adorable. They were so cute. I'm sure they had a mariachi band at nights, and they all worked together in the day, and I would hear them outside with their music and their smiles, and I'm telling you, I never wanted them to get finished. It's the only contractors that have ever been here that I didn't want to finish. So, okay. Let's move on. It was such a special time. Okay, I don't want to burn myself. So remember, always read your recipe. I got this from New York Times cooking recipe. I have adjusted it just a little bit, so it's very much inspired by them. But we're going to start with a half a cup of roasted almonds. I most of the time will do pine nuts instead. But because we were going to grind this up and make a paste out of it, I really felt like the almonds would be better. And on top of that, I roasted these right after I made the almond milk. So if you remember, I had soaked these for over 24 hours in water. And then afterwards, once we made the almond milk out of those almonds, I took these, laid these on a cookie sheet, put the fire at about 200 degrees, put some sprinkled kosher salt on it, and then I roasted these for about 11 hours, and they're absolutely delicious, so I really wanted to use that. And if you can see, I've got 2 tablespoons right here, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, so that went in there. Hey, Peter Guzman, I'm so happy you're here. Now, on top of that, we're gonna put in, so I'm gonna start grinding this, which is gonna mean you're not gonna hear me so well, so hold on, here we go. Okay. We're going to start. And as that that goes, I'm gonna drop in 3 cloves of garlic, okay? Ready? Here we go. Okay, then on top of that, we're gonna now drop in a jar of flattened fillets, anchovy fillets. And I know that sounds almost counterintuitive, like what are those doing in this recipe? But it gives it like a pasty feel. It makes this turn into a paste. It's so delicious because of the salt and it just has a marvelous thing. And you know, anchovies have gotten very popular again. These have been rinsed, so I'm not necessarily using the oil, but they're kind of making a comeback into real Caesar salad dressing and used as a base to start a tomato pasta soup. So let's mix this up. We're going to put in a pinch of red chili peppers. There we go. Kind of a lot. And now we're going to put in some red wine vinegar, and I can't remember how much it calls for. You know, this recipe called for a half to a full teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and I'm telling you, I think if I put a half or a full teaspoon of red pepper flakes into this, I'd have steam coming out of my ears. So I just prefer that little pinch. We can always add to it later. So salt and ground black pepper. So a half a cup of olive oil and 2 teaspoons of wine vinegar. So this is Cabernet vinegar, which is another name for wine vinegar. It's a little bit exclusive, you know, not just your average. So let's open this up. It's stuck. There we go. And we're going to do my favorite sound for measuring. Woo! Woo! That's it. How I measure cayenne and pouring into the food processor, and a little more olive oil. Okay, so this paste is not loosening up. It's all stuck to the side. So we're going to grab a spatula, if you will. Give me just a minute. Okay. So we're going to pull that down. We're going to run it one more time and get all of that red wine vinegar and the olive oil. I'm going to put just a little bit more olive oil in this so that it really is very pasty. There we go. There we go. And just a little bit more of the olive oil. You know, things, hey, Steve McNeil, nice to see you. Okay, a little bit more of that. And top back on. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for just a minute. Hi, Kelly, how are you? So nice to see you. We're gonna let this sit for just a minute, and while it sits, I'm gonna go right back through that little archway over there, and I am going to run and grab the seeds that we planted yesterday. Please pray that I do not drop it a second time. Let me go get that for you. Okay, so here we go. So I just want to show you, do you see the droplets of water on the very top? That is all, it's almost like it's raining inside. And then you can see the area of this top plastic. So this is called a Jiffy greenhouse. And you can see the area of the top plastic area of this that is not have the droplets. And that is where the grow light is hitting this. So the grow light warms it up really, really great. My grow light stays on for 10 hours. I turned it on at 4 o'clock this morning when I got up. So it'll be on for the next, let's see, it'll be on, it should be going off fairly soon. And then you can see the droplets. So let me just take this off very quickly. Oh, I love the smell of that. So there's the seeds. Nothing has started to sprout yet. Of course, we're not surprised because they don't start sprouting in a day. But honestly, zucchini seeds or yellow squash or pumpkins start sprouting in 3 to 5 days. So we shall see what happens. You can see the water, the moisture. This is only from spraying it. I never actually pour water over the top of these. I just spray them 2 to 3 times a day. I look at them, I talk to them, I tell them I love them, I tell them I can't wait to, you know, for them to sprout and then we can eat them, and that they're providing such a wonderful joy and health for my family. And I talk to them and I thank them, and they grow beautifully because they feel love. So you have to love your seeds and your whatever you're growing as much as you love anything else. It's imperative. Okay, let me cover these all up, and I will put them back in under the grow light in just a minute. So have to get back to all of you. So here's what we're going to do from this point forward. We're going to take this, and as this cauliflower is very, very moist from the pan of water that was in there, then we're going to take this paste. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to take one last thing we're going to do, which I just realized because I saw it. Thank you for bearing with me. But cooking can sometimes needs to be intuitive. We're going to put some herbs. This is dill. This is tarragon, fresh. And I'm just going to sprinkle some tarragon and some dill into this because I think adding the green and saving a little bit extra for just sprinkling on the top. Where did I put the top to this? Here we go. And that'll make it nice. So we're going to give this a quick go around. Okay, all right, now we're ready to paste it on. So it is a great, wonderful paste. So did anybody think, if you are a vegan, what a great alternative would be for texture and flavor that you might put into this? And in fact, maybe what you might put into this is just leave it out altogether and not substitute anything. Maybe some sort of a flavored olive oil would go great in here, which I think would be great. Pot is hot. So let me tip this so that you can all see. There you go. And let me hold on to this. So as you can see, the cauliflower is very soft. It's soft, but at the same time, it's quite brown. It's just gloriously gorgeous. And so what the recipe calls for is for putting the paste right on here, like this. There we go. There we go. Now when I was roasting the cauliflower, I opened up and I literally sprayed some avocado oil on this about 2 times during the cooking process because I really wanted it to have this golden glow to it. We're just going to pile that right on top and just work it all around. Right. There we go. I think using your hands for this is probably the best way to go. There we go. Make a bed all around it so that as people peel each floret off, it comes around on the outside. There we go. Now we're going to take this and stick it back into the oven and under the broiler so that it will brown the paste. There we go. There we go. And then we're going to take a little bit. Let me just give my hands a rinse here. There we go. And I don't even have a cloth here. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to take the dill, sprinkle a little bit like that on top, and a little bit of the tarragon right on top, off to the sides. Save a little more for after. Now tell me that is not gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. Now, you can use this as a make-ahead, meaning that you can either eat it tonight for dinner, or, let me get you a better shot. You could either roast it and eat it tonight for dinner, or like for us, I'm going to reheat this tomorrow night and put this with a main course, and you guys will see me be making that main course for all of you. So, I hope you enjoyed all of that. Thank you all for being here. it's time to go spray your seeds with the water. I hope you all enjoyed that seed starting class. I know I enjoyed doing it until I dropped it, but then there was lessons to be learned with all of that. So oh, olives. I love that, I love that, Lucy. That is a great idea. If you take, and in fact, I feel like green olives, pitted green olives, probably even black olive is a combination of the Kalamata olives, the seeded Kalamata olives as well. That is a great idea. I love that, Lucy. There you go. So if you're a vegan and you're making this recipe and you're doing Meatless Monday, you can either do the recipe as is, or you can replace the unsalted butter. Yeah, right. The unsalted butter with olive oil, and you can replace the anchovies with both green pitted and the black Kalamata olives. Throw them in and make a paste out of that, and it'll be absolutely scrumptious for dinner tonight, or in my case, tomorrow night. So let me show you the beautiful cover for this pan. Let's see where it is, since Roseanne remarked about the pan. So this is a pan, beautiful for serving to friends and family. Look at the top of that pan. Isn't that gorgeous? And I got news for you. The cauliflower is so high that the top of the pan was hitting it. So there you have it. There's, you know, intuitive cooking right there. So I'm gonna have to cover this in something other than the top of this pan, because it's a little bit, cauliflower is a little high, but it is beautiful, isn't it? Okay, everybody. Hi, Fred Domaney. Where have you been? I have missed you. Nanny Bubby has missed you. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I just want to tell you, you know, if you're learning to cook or you want to get to be a better cook, you would want to know what is it that you need to have in your kitchen or in your pantry in order to make it a better cooking experience for you. So I put together Nanny Bubby's top spices that you need to have right at hand, so that you can easily get to them, so that no matter what recipe you might be cooking, you might just have these spices at your fingertips. And it's a free download, so keep your eye out. If you're on the email list, you will get it for free. It's a free PDF download, but we're gonna do the Happy Spice Cabinet, the Happy Pantry, and the Happy Fridge. So keep an eye out for it, and just email me, marla@nannybubby.com, marla@nannybubby.com, or put your email address, and I don't know that you wanna put it in a public space like Facebook right now, where everybody can see it, so I can understand that. But you could go into the Gather group and join the Gather group. There's not that many people there, and they're wonderful, beautiful, loving people, and you don't have to worry about them. So you can either do it there or just email me, marla@nannybubby.com. marla@nannybubby.com. I'll get it, and I'll add your email to our list. And let's say, I'm trying to think, there's one other way you can get on our list. If you go onto the Nanny Bubby Facebook page, that's Biggie barking. One of these days you have to meet Biggie. But if you go onto the Nanny Bubby Facebook page and answer our poll, there's a Google poll up there. You have to put your email address in at the end, and that goes directly to me. So that's another way. If you want to get the free download, it's great. It's all the spices you need, alphabetized, so herbs and spices separated. And then there's definitions and a history lesson as to what each one of those herbs is good for and what you can use it for, maybe how they were, where they first were grown, where they're indigenous to, and it was a great history and cultural lesson throughout our world. So hopefully you will want that, and you can build your spice cabinet, and it'll make cooking so much easier for you. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for joining me. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Go out and spread love like butter. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining me.